Hi there. First of all, I'd like to welcome you to our school. It is Little Bird's Public School, Palpura Paran. With the Islamic greetings, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Actually, today we decided to go over the accents. Not only accents, we're going to go over the grammatical differences between different standard grammars. Like you have American standard grammar, you have British standard grammar. And we're going to go over the differences, we're going to go over the conflicts, we're going to go over the confusion, the line there in between the terms like vocabulary, like grammatical roles, like accents. Okay, so let me start. Before starting, I'd like to tell you that subscribe to this channel, Little Bird's Public School, and press the bell icon in order to get the notifications of latest videos. Whenever we can upload anything on this channel, definitely you'll come to know that person that the YouTuber has uploaded a video. Okay, so now without taking too much time, I'm simply gonna go over the differences between the American accent and British accent. Because in the world, if you see that two accents are used mostly. First one that is British accent, and another that is British accent. First one British accent and another that is American accent. Okay. So mostly whenever you go to talk to any person, you just get in and out and the point only two accents are being used around the world. So first one that is British accent and another that is American accent. Today I'm simply gonna go over that and make you understand that what sort of difference a lot out there between these two accents. Okay, most of the people just connecting and just linking the two words like this accent and fluency. No, fluency is basically a speed. It's a full of words. While talking, while arranging words from yourself, while talking to someone at that time, what sort of words you're gonna use, what sort of sentences you're gonna use in your speech while talking to another person. So if you get a great speed and velocity while talking, that is what we call as fluency. An accent is simply a way, a way of talking using words and other words, using sounds of different words. For example, if there's a person from America, he will talk in his own accent in his own way. Okay, and another person is from England. He definitely will talk in his own way. So these ways are called basically accents. Okay. So how can we learn these two accents, American and British? We have to get the online training for that. If it is possible for you, you gotta get the online training for that. Okay. So me too have been working as an American accent trainer and British accent trainer for the last 3 years. So we're talking about myself. I'm Bilal Ahmed Vani. I'm the teacher of Little Birds Public School. I'm a concerned teacher for English literature out here, and I've been teaching for the last 2 years. Okay, so now I'd like to move back to my topic. It's very simple differences between American English and British English. I'm gonna go over the different aspects, and I'll be talking about different aspects out there. Sometimes we get most of the time we talk with people and this used to reply the things and it got identified that very things at that time just bet but the thing in my mind that what I had to do with that, for example, some sort of questions were asked out there will communicating with the people who are coming from the different parts of this world, different places of this world. Like I went to different parts of this India and I've actually got questions from the students who were from Bangladesh. I've got questions from the teachers who were from China, who were from different countries of this world. Okay, so the most common question was that which accent is better for we people? Should we talk in American accent or we should use this British accent? So these were the questions usually that I got during my experience when I was talking to the strange people, when I was talking to the unknown people. So that experience made me to think over this. Okay, and later on I applied everyone that in the world, two standard accents out there. That's American and British. And so many accents are out there of English, like Canadian, like Australian. So you can talk in any accent. There is no particular, Okay. And one thing that I'll tell you here that I think mostly the British English is followed by the whole world. Okay. And one thing that is important that American accent is too dominating in the world and it's circulating out there in each and every place of this world. And so many students, asking me, we like and we love the accent that is American accent. We want to learn that. So there's not any difficult task to learn that American accent or British accent very easy because always I'm just I would recommend you that I would like to suggest to you that if you want to learn any easiest language in the world, so that is English language. The easiest language in the world, that is English language. Okay. So let's get back to my topic that was differences between American accent and British accent. Okay, so what goes on with the people when we come to learn and we get some negative ideas, mind just freezing at the time, when starting doing anything, just trying to experience anything at the time, was thinking of the things that, for example, if I'm going to start, they want to become, when I'll get great fame, what happened to me would, at the time, what we do with ours, we simply rest in a place on the top and just thinking of ourselves that we create people in this world and we are world-class people in this world. So people just surrounding you, living around you, the place you're residing at the time, and the people living around you, and you don't think about that, and you just taking it yourself that I'm the person in this world is living out here, and so everybody should follow me. So that's what all the time we're talking about. Okay, so what you gotta do out there whenever you're gonna learn anything, don't take that on in mind and don't let dominate you. And just thinking of always yourself that get great satisfaction. If you want to get through that, what you gotta do for that simply you need to be always, down the ground. Okay, so what I had to do, I was just talking about this American accent and British accent, the differences between American accent and British accent. I'm going to go over the differences in the vocabulary of American English and British English. I'm going to go over the structures as well. I'm going to go over the grammatical difference between these two, these two languages. Okay, so one thing that I'd like to go over, the first one, that is I'm going to go over accents. For example, if you have a word, I'm going to give you some words, and first I'm going to go over the flap T. Where's that flap T? And I'm going to, oh, okay. Whenever a T is taught between these two all sounds, what goes on at the time, I'm pretty sure just keep it as T sound, T, T, T. Okay, that's easy. But Americans change or convert this T sound into D. Like if I'll give you a word that is matter. Matter. In British English, it is matter. Matter. And there are two concepts that you can't take in mind, that you can keep in your mind while understanding the thing here, so that you can identify right here. So first thing that is, if you talk about the expression of our sound. Okay, so our sound is not expressed in British accent, like matter in American accent, matter in British accent. Okay, it means that matter. So there is now our sound at the terminal position. You're gonna get three positions out of a sound and a word. For example, the first one, that's initial position. That means the starting position of a sound and a word. And then there is medial position. Medial position means middle one. The sound standing out there in the middle of the word. So that's what the medial position of sound is. And then there is the last position. That is terminal position, or we can call that ending, or we can call that the final position of a sound and a word. So three positions you're going to get of a sound and a word, that is initial, medial, and terminal, or we could say starting position, middle position, and the final position. Okay, so whenever you're going to get or letter R in between or at the end of a word, Britishers don't use that. They don't use, they don't express the sound of that word. Not always. This is usually what they do. Oftenly they do. Okay, but frequent. I'm talking about the word frequent. But I'm not talking about always. Okay, like you have a graph. So at the time they pronounce this, okay, there's no problem now. So you can understand right here. Sometimes, most of the time they don't express the sound of this R. Like they Britishers would say, for example, if there's a word, matter, a word that I've been talking around for the last I think 1 minute. Okay, so what is that? Matter. Okay, in British accent, it is matter, but in American accent, it is matter. If you look at out there in British accent, so there is no expression of or sound, matter, but in American accent, it is matter. You can identify that they made the roll down of or Americans made the roll down of or at the end of the terminal position of the sound R. So what they call it as matter, matter, but in British, it is matter. So you can't identify the difference between these two pronunciations of the same word. So that is matter, matter, letter, letter. Okay, now I'm gonna go over flap T. If you see that letter T, if I call it T, it's common, it's common expression out there of the so flap T. Okay, so I was talking that, for example, if you have a letter in between two vowel sounds, like I'll tell you that letter. In British accent, it's letter. And t sound, t. In common, when we go through phonetics and phonology. So phonetics, phonology. Pronunciations are right out there of these two words. Okay, so it is, what you got to do right there, T. Okay, if you call it as letter, is aspirational English. If you take it as simple and normal, what you got to do out there, letter, letter, letter. You can identify the difference right here now between the common and this aspirational sound. Okay, so what is this? Letter. Okay, but in American accent, it is letter. So they converted the sound of this T into T, letter. Okay, matter, matter. Teacher, teacher. So there's common. I was talking about there are sound at the terminal position of this or sound. It's not expressed out there in British English, but in American, they definitely made a roll down of the at the end of this particular sound of R. So you can easily identify. You can easily identify that. Okay. So we had to do that moving forward. For example, if another word that is W-O-R-L-D. W-O-R-L-D. In British accent, it is world, but in American accent, it is world. You can identify. You can't check easily, can realize easily out there. Okay, so one more word that is C-A-N-T. In American English, it is can't, but in British English, it's can't. Can't in British, but in American, it is can't. So you can check the difference between these two sounds. One more word that I'm going to give right here, that is L-A-U-G-H. In British English, it is laugh, laugh. But in American English, it is laugh, laugh, laugh. You can check the difference. Okay, so this was all about the differences between these two accents. And one more thing, whenever you're gonna go over the phonetics, whenever you're gonna go over the phonology, at that time you will come to know about a term that is glottal stop. Where's that glottal stop? Glottal stop. I'm gonna talk about that. When you get complete blockade, or when you block your air stream completely, at the time you call that glottal stop. For example, you have an air stream that you inhale and then exhale in the air. Okay, air is the real pronunciation. Air is the real pronunciation of this. We call it as air, but it is air. Okay, so it's ingressive and aggressive. I'm not going to talk about that at all right here because I didn't get a lot of time to talk about that. And in next video, I'll be talking around that as well. Okay, so I was telling you out there that airstream taken in and just giving out this air. Okay, inhaling and exhaling. And when you exhale the air from the from these lungs, so at that time you might have been known to a system, you might have known to a concept in phonetics that is pulmonic aggressive airstream mechanism. And pulmonic is actually adjective used for these lungs. So science students must be known to that. Okay, so I was talking about this, glottal stop. When you make complete blockage, when you completely block the airstream at the time, we call that glottal stop. Okay, so when you just showing and just making a speech, when you just talking and using a sound, okay,